Welcome to Modern Art. This is going to be the latest version of the classic auction game from Reiner Knizia. Now in this game, you're going to be taking on the role of an art connoisseur. You're going to be buying and selling these famous paintings from 5 different artists and hopefully at the end of the game have the most profit and win the game. Now that's it, the game in a nutshell. But what I really want this video to prove is, look, this game is old. This game is actually older than Catan, 33 years old, and I wanted to understand, is this game actually up to standard to all of these other modern games right now? Now I'm going to give you a little hint here. The more you get into the theme of being an auctioneer, the more fun you're going to have. If you really try and sell your artwork, you've got blue hair guy here with flowers popping out of his head, one of Raphael's best ever artworks, really get in selling it, the people around the room are really going to enjoy it. So that's it, you want to be an auctioneer. Now in Modern Art, this game is played over 4 rounds and you're going to get a set number of cards each round. When it comes around to you at that table, you are then going to auction 1 or potentially 2 of your artworks. Now we're going to go over the different auction types shortly. But when the 5th card of a particular artist is played out onto the table, that triggers the end of the round. And when we get to the end of the round, we want to understand who is the hottest artist right now. So let's say Raphael had the most cards and Raphael now gets a 30,000 chip put on next to the name for that round. The next artist who gets the most will get the 20,000 chip and the third artist will get the 10,000 chip. Now the 2 artists who unfortunately missed out, well, their paintings are not worth anything. So you're going to then sell whatever paintings that you have got over the course of that round, you're going to sell them to the value that that artist is at that particular time. But over the course of each round, those artist values are going to keep going up and they're going to keep adding up. But as long as your artist is in the 30, 20, and 10, you can sell your artwork. If they're not, well, alas, they're worth absolutely nothing. Okay, so that is selling your artwork at the end of each round. Now let's have a look at the auction types. First one, open auction. We've all been there. Anyone around the room can bid. Eventually the auctioneer will go, sold, and there we go. That is the open auction. Next one, the one-off auction. Now to the left of the auctioneer, you're going to give a single bid. Then the next person, they can either go higher than that bid or they can pass. Next person will go higher or pass, eventually come back to the auctioneer and they can either accept that last bid or they can go higher themselves and buy that painting. Okay, next one we have here, this is going to be the hidden one. I love this one. So what's going to happen is you will have a whole bunch of money hidden behind your screen. Now you're going to figure out whatever value you want to bid on it, put it in your hand. Eventually everyone's going to turn them over at the same time and you're going to see who had the most money. This is my favorite type of auction. Absolutely love that one. Next one, fixed price auction. The auctioneer is going to set the value. So as the auctioneer, I might go, this card is worth 45,000. Then you're going to go to the left of the auctioneer and they're going to go, nah, too much for me. Next person might go, yeah, perfect. I'll pay 45,000 for it. Done. It's sold.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ramon Martins painting. Now this is going to go up for auction. This is going to be a fixed price auction. Now this is a famous painting. This is old guy, red beard, holding fan with little people. You know you want it. You need this in your house. This is it. Your last chance to get it. You know you need it. Here we go. $45,000. Here I hear 45,000. I hear 45,000. Sold to the person in the back who's invisible, but sold.
Now the last type of one we have here is the 2 times auction. Now there's a bunch of nuance here. I'm not going to go into every detail, but the general idea is you're going to need the same type of artist, but it has to be a different type of card. And that different type of card will be what that auction type will be. So this is going to be a fixed price auction for 2 of these beautiful Sigrid artworks. Now, I reckon that's worth at least 82,000. What do you reckon? That's pretty much it. 5 different types of auction types. Keep getting cards each round, auctioning them off. Eventually at the end of it, you're going to have 5 different artists, all with different value of hotness. I think there's another word for it, but I like calling it hotness. And then that's it. You will sell all the rest of your cards at the end. Whoever has the most money wins. So I had a fear at the start that this game would feel dated. I played Survive the Island and that was another older game revamped. And I felt that was dated. The mechanics felt dated. I didn't enjoy it as much. Now I know it's a game that a lot of people love, but for me, it just didn't really do it for me. So I came into Modern Art with a pretty much a lot of trepidation. So my first game playing this, I was at the CanCon, the Canberra convention, and I was with 3 of my really wonderful mates, and I had to choose a game. I chose Modern Art. Now, because at that stage I hadn't had a chance to play it, I was nervous. I knew about the history of it. I knew it was one of Reiner Knizia's most famous auction games, but I was concerned. But pretty much from that very first moment, that very first auction, that concern went out the window. As soon as we started having fun with it, and I truly did get into it, I auctioned it like I've never auctioned anything in my life, and I loved every single second of it. So that trepidation went out the window. At 4 players, the game played beautifully. Fast forward to actually coming home, and I got the chance to play it at 3 players. Originally, without the variant, didn't like it as much. Then the variant. The variant just adds a 4th dummy player, which doesn't actually do much. There's not much overhead. All they're going to do is when it gets to their turn, they're going to place out another card, which will change the amount of cards for each particular artist type and will just sway which artist is the hottest at that point in time. So very little overhead, and it was just enough. Just that elegant little solution to be able to make the game fun at 3 players. So definitely good at 3 players with the variant, great at 4 players. What about 5 players? Outstanding. The more players you've got, the better. Now you can also go on, there's actually a option that you can go in for a 6 variant. I'll put it on the screen somewhere. And again, you can play with up to 6 players. Nothing stopping you, just a lot of fun there. So the more players you have, the more fun you're gonna have. Now, what were the cons for this game? So I don't know if you can see that, but that is one of my tokens, one of my 10 tokens here that has no stickers on it at all. So you got a 30-20-10, I get all the way down to the 4th round, and then I've got a 30-20 and a nothing token. Just a very small little oversight there, and I really hope I'm the only person in the world that's happened to, because yeah, that's just kind of annoying. Anyway, that's fine. It's a very minimal oversight, doesn't change the game at all. But the one con I have is I went looking for a 2-player option here. And so I found on BGG a link, and it basically said they originally got it from the Hans im Glück, I think that's how you say it, website. Anyway, it's a 2-player option, which basically gives you 2 lots of dummy players. No, I tried it and not a chance. It was horrendous. So no, do not play this game at 2 players, even though there's potentially an option for you to do it. Just awful. The more players you have, the better. 4 players, 5 players, piece de resistance, piece de resistance, piece de resistance. Anyway, you get it. So there you go. So that is my pros and cons of this game. So I got thinking after I finished recording, there actually is one thing that I potentially would change if I was the designer. Now, I don't want to tell Reiner what to do. He's got some pretty good chops as a board game designer. But you know what I'd love to see? I'd love to see some more artists. Now I know you've got 5 artists here. What about we stretch out the board and maybe we could pick and choose which artists we want to use. Maybe we can just pick 5 out of 8. I'd just love to see some more art. Just give you that little bit more variety each time you play. Just a small little change, but I'd love that. Maybe an Australian artist. That would be pretty cool. The other thing I want to chat about here is the rulebook. Now when you see it, it looks pretty hefty. Only actually 4 pages of rules. The rest of it is all just backstory on these artists, and that is really cool. So just a nice little touch there, and yeah, pretty much from start to finish, this is a really great effort in putting all this, I guess, old school game into a newer age format that just looks incredible on the table. Anyway, look, that's pretty much all I have. Absolutely love Modern Art and would love to hear from you. Have you played Modern Art? Look, it's been around for that long. Surely someone's played this game before me. Love to know your comments on the game. And lastly, how about joining up as a member of the Bangers crew? Look, join up. It's only like $1.50 buckaroos, Australian buckaroos a month. That's just cheap as chips. So look, love your support. Anyway, that is all I have. I'm Hogs. This is the Bangers Project. That was Modern Art. Laters.